Okay, so I'll show you a few of the babies that have had birthdays. That longhorn okra is showing nice and strong. One at the end needs to be fixed a little bit. Something's went a little wonky. We have one little canary melon. If you have not tried that melon, I highly recommend you get it and grow it. A roselle hibiscus is showing up. All of them have grown. I need to get those separated. And all the tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers seem to be doing mighty nice. We have dill. We might actually have dill this year. And some of these other ones are actually coming into the long purple eggplant. These are ones I've already pulled from, so I figured they just didn't germinate. No big deal. These are a bunch of jicamas. They are definitely ready to be transplanted. I need to see how long moringa usually takes to germinate, because I feel like it took a long time before, but the freeze killed it, of course. No little pineapple tomatillos yet. Oh, look at there. We have some cumin popping out now. Mexican mint marigold wasn't there either. Toothache plants coming up nice. One little tiny lovage. Can you see it? Russian tarragon. I guess I'm gonna have to buy that. I don't do really good with that, getting it to germinate. My dogs are playing. Holy basil. Just itty bitty babies are coming up. And oh my goodness, that might actually be some bunching onions. That is. I can't believe it. Alright, go lay down. I have never got these to germinate before. And I'll show you in a minute what I do because I can't get these to germinate. But that's a huge win. And I swear we had... Oh, maybe it wasn't the Egyptians. Yeah, we did. Something's gone on with these. Maybe they need water. They feel a little dry even though we've been having rain. But we actually have some New Zealand spinach coming up. I hadn't seen that yet. The 4 o'clocks are still doing amazing. I dug this tuber out. Well, the chickens dug it out. And I took off what it had, and I think there's some more growing, so we might get another little sprout from that. Alright, I'll show you my little trick in a minute. Alright, so all these babies will get a drink with some nitrogen liquid fertilizer in a little bit, just to hopefully help some of them recover. And I'll fix all of these. Maybe I'll take you along to repotting these different things as well. But in the meantime, I got a second table because I don't have the best place to take care of my seedlings. That's a 5-foot Lifetime brand. I think I got this one at Walmart for like 30 bucks, but I'm sure there's some on Amazon. I'll try and link a couple. But so far, these have been working out really good under my shade cell, so they don't get hammered down by rain. But yet the light still comes in perfectly for them. And this has been absolutely perfect for my seedlings this year. Alright, first things first, I use this Kellogg's raised bed and potting mix in my raised beds and in my pots. And I found that it works really good for both. It's not too terribly expensive, and it is organic. And I think I've been using it the last 3, maybe 4 years. So if you're like me, you don't always have a whole bunch of things to pot up, I highly recommend this. I dump a bag in one of these bins. It's got a lid, So I can take whatever I need out, fill up what I need, and then I can keep my dirt from getting completely drenched in the rain and making the bag incredibly heavy. And then I just repurpose a dish that we no longer need as my scoop, and I'll scoop it into whatever I need to, in case that helps. If it does help, please give me a like, subscribe, or share, and help me grow this channel. So this is a pot myself and my daughter have been growing green onions in for years, and as you can see, the soil is really far and we only have like 3 green onions left. I think our 18-degree Fahrenheit freeze took out most of them, but I'm gonna dig these out. Let's see what they look like. Look at those roots. Those are nice and healthy. You see how thick they are as well. And I just cut these the other day. And you can see they've already got shoots. I'm just going below where I can feel roots and just kind of lifting. I'm not very delicate with these. They seem pretty hardy. So we got 3. Alright, so I went and found this container. It was used last year, so it has junky bits in it that need to come out that I don't want to be in the way. We have a couple of little pine trees growing. Not anymore. I'm going to take quite a few of these leaves, trees, labels, any of that. I might spread the leaves out a little bit. They can decompose in there. That's no big a deal. And now I'm going to use my little bin and my scoop to fill this up a little bit more, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, there's what it looks like. It's good enough. Doesn't have to be anything perfect, but I love the color of these. Even though I don't really have any patio container holders, I just kind of place them around where they look kind of half decent. And I sure hope those happy dogs running around making all those noises aren't too terribly distracting. And now somebody having fun with their vehicle. It sounds pretty nice to me, because I'm happy my husband's home. He's out there working on the project as well, and the doggies are loving it after the rain today. Okay, so if you haven't guessed yet, I regrow my green onions. Now I just bought a whole bunch at the store the other day, and I cut them all off that far. I chop them up and I throw them in a reusable freezer bag, and I have green onions on demand for a very long time. This bunch got cut earlier. It's kind of dry, so I don't know if they'll continue to grow. You can see the difference in the width of this new one versus this one. These 3 have been growing probably 3 years, and we just come out and we cut them off and we leave the base, and it just regrows and regrows over and over and over, and it's infinite green onions. This is the only time I've ever harvested the full green onion, because I like free onions. Buy once, get green onions forever. That's my philosophy. Alright, so I'll show you what I do with them. Alright, so these can be planted pretty close together, so I just stick my finger in every little bit, like this. And I just give these little plants a place to go, like that. I'm not too particular about how deep. I just stick them in there, make sure some's sticking out. Oops, I dropped one. Some sticking out and some's in the ground. Alright, I got you very delicately placed on top of a bucket in case you want to see the rest of this. If not, go ahead and fast forward and we'll see you on the other side. That one's got a leaf underneath it. I'm going to just make this hole a little bit bigger so we can get that sucker in there. And these really do not take hardly any care whatsoever. Like you see, this is the first new soil this thing has had in years. And maybe every once in a while it'll get some excess liquid green nitrogen fertilizer. Organic, of course, but it's usually only if there's a little bit left at the end of my watering can, or if I do my little seedling trays and I need to pour it out, I'll pour it on plants like this so I'm not wasting it. And then everything gets a little drinky drink. Okay, we got quite a few more, and I'm hoping everybody will fit because we love onions at our house, and I sure like the convenience of having these suckers in the freezer, which, by the way, not in a reusable bag, but in those regular Ziploc type bags. That is one of my favorite smells, to have the green onions in that plastic bag. I know, sounds pretty gross, but it reminds me of my grandpa, because he would do the same thing with his green onions. And then he'd take them out of the freezer and he'd sniff them, which I never understood why he sniffed them. And then we would make gumbo. And if you don't know what gumbo is, please Google it, because it is amazing. Find somebody you know who knows how to cook it. I wouldn't trust any of the recipes online. Maybe I'll do that for y'all one day, share that gumbo recipe. This one I'll probably plant anyway, but it doesn't have any roots, so we'll have to see. These are my iffy ones because I let them get a little too dry, so I'm going to stick them in here in this line. And these can be the "if you live, that's great" section. Not a big deal. Thank you. Hey, lie down. Yes, I know. I already leave it right home. Alright, this person will see part of the whole process. It's gonna go away. What's that? That's what fix it. Alright, and there we go. Just a few minutes and I have a few dollars worth of green onions, or as the Cajuns say, oignon, prepared. And already starting to grow for me. I mean, it was literally 2 days ago, yeah, 2 days ago that I planted these in, that I cut them back, and they're already regrowing, and they don't get hard. Everybody always says they get hard, but they're still nice and tender, and that's just what works for us. Alright, let's see what else we can get up to. One last thought, I will water these in, and since I'm going to be doing the liquid nitrogen fertilizer on those, I'll probably end up giving these some as well, but even if you just watering them in, they'll be fine as well. Okay, I just want to do a quick little update on my green onions. It is April 30th, and they are ready to harvest, y'all. Look, there's even a flower spike. And this is grocery store green onions. And I will just come through close to the bottom above here, and I'll come through and cut them, and then I'll chop them all up and put them in a freezer bag, and then they'll just keep growing back. So I love free, and this is a way I do get free food. And while I'm here, I'll show you, I got some walking onions, some Egyptian walking onions, and I can't wait. They should have a little pod that they throw off, and then I can just plant those around in here, and then they should grow more, and like the name says, they will walk all over the place if you let them. And I plan on throwing onions everywhere, because green onions are a lot easier to grow than bulbing onions, and as I get more raised beds put in, then I will be trying to grow more and more bulbing onions and leave space for other things as well. So let me know your favorite variety of green onions to grow. And I've also got in the works some, hopefully they germinate, hopefully they're the right seeds, some Asian green onions, which by the look of them they look massive, but you never know. So we'll have to see how those turn out too.
Editing Jamie here, and I just noticed I didn't do an ending, and I put some notes in there. It took 25 days to get a harvest, and to me that's pretty fast and economical when you pay, I don't even know, 75 cents to $1.50 for a bunch of onions, but then you regrow it once, and that cuts your onion cost in half. So if you keep doing it, then you end up with free onions, and I like free. So if you like this video at all, if it helped you out, if you want to help my channel grow, please give a like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. And again, thanks for spending time with me, and I will see you later.